Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well friends, this could pretty much mark the end of the organization known as Black Lives Matter. Let's make a little bit of a comparison. What is Joe Biden without the entire media establishment behind him propping him up? Well, of course we know a puppet without the puppet master is nothing. And when you think about these woke activist liberals, these self-described communists, open Marxists, what are they without their mega capitalist corporation allies? What is Black Lives Matter and the rest of these woke Twitter fools without the massive corporations that carry them like Nike and Coca-Cola, spreading their message to the masses and controlling propaganda through their marketing campaigns and ad dollars? Sounds a little bit ironic, and that's because it is. These self-described Marxists are in bed with these major capitalist organizations. And so what is Black Lives Matter without the corporate entities that carry them? A corrupt, fringe, out-of-touch fundraising scam that continues to tank. And in today's headlines, it seems as though that's exactly the case, as Amazon just gave Black Lives Matter, the BLM fundraising foundation, the boot as they kick them to the curb. The scandals continue to mount for Black Lives Matter folks, from Patrice can coolers all the way to the recent situation in Louisville, and it seems as though Black Lives Matter is facing more scrutiny than ever. And so the question is this the end of BLM? Let me show you guys what's going on, but of course before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright folks, take a look at this headline right over here. Amazon drops Black Lives Matter from charity platform amid financial scrutiny. According to the Washington Examiner, the move comes less than 2 years after Amazon donated $10 million to BLM and 11 other social justice groups following the death of George Floyd, and deprives the organization of a revenue source that has provided $306 million to charities across the US. The move comes after questions have been raised regarding what the parent organization, Black Lives Matter Global Network, did with the large amount of money it received in donations during the latter half of 2020. On February 2nd, the organization reportedly shut down its online fundraising after California and Washington made legal threats against the organization for failing to report what it did with the money, according to the Washington Examiner. In California, Attorney General Rob Bonta issued a warning letter to BLM that stated the organization Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation Inc. is delinquent with the registry of charitable trusts for failing to submit required annual reports for the 2020 tax year. Reports show that in 2020, Black Lives Matter raised $90 million, spent $8.4 million, and distributed $21.7 million in grants to 33 other organizations, closing the year with a balance of $60 million. And I mean, wow, what a profitable entity. Could you imagine being an activist having to really do nothing except for stir the pot, rake in $90 million with no input cost whatsoever, 100% profit, and then throughout the year fail to spend half of it, $6 million going to causes, and nearly $22 million going to other organizations? And this is the racket that we've been talking about whenever we speak about BLM. You know, Patrice can coolers and these other lefties are always using the argument that the money didn't come directly from Black Lives Matter into Patrice can coolers pocket, which then she buys millions of dollars in real estate with, which of course it doesn't. But if you pay attention, Patrice can coolers is the head of something like 5 or 6 different random organizations. The money gets funneled to these different places and never really goes to the community. It always seems to enrich the people who are running the charity scam itself and not the community. They raised $90 million and then barely spent anything to the benefit of the communities that they were fundraising off of. I mean, go to downtown Minneapolis, a place that has become a war zone since the Black Lives Matter protests. Why is the money not going to keeping the community safe, starting small businesses, building infrastructures or community centers, something that would actually make the community a better and stronger and safer place? No, instead it seems to be funneled through different organizations and seems to be going towards electing Democrats and buying million-dollar homes for these activist grifters. And you can tell they're grifters because when asked to follow the law, open up their books and show where the money went, well, here's what Patrice can coolers had to say. Last Wednesday, Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Coolers, who resigned from the organization in May, said that the unaccounted millions her group received in 2020 came from, quote, white corporation guilt. People have to know we didn't go out and solicit the money. This is money that came from white guilt, white corporation guilt, and they just poured money in. Again, how is that a defense? Somehow it's once again white people's fault that they donated to your organization, whether it was guilt or not. They donated to your cause, and now they're just asking you to comply with the law and show the world where the money is going, and you're just once again playing the race card. Seems a little fishy now, doesn't it? They're literally doing everything that they possibly can to hide the money. This report right over here, Black Lives Matter accounting gimmick further delays disclosure of its $60 million bankroll. April. The question, of course, is what are they trying to hide? And why would Patrice Can-Coolers, who's been wrapped in all of this scandal, making millions upon millions of dollars as a social justice activist and self-described Marxist and communist, what are they hiding and where did the money go? The people who donated to this organization deserve to know. This is why Black Lives Matter is done. Forced to close up shop in California and Washington, booted off Amazon's fundraising platform, facing legal scrutiny and continuing to dive in public sentiment and public support as the full truth of their extremism or ties to extremism continue to get exposed. As the Daily Mail reports, Black Lives Matter helps raise a $100,000 bail for activist 21 who's now charged with attempted murder. Quintez Brown, 21, was accused of opening fire on Monday on Craig Greenberg, whose shirt was grazed by a bullet in his campaign headquarters in Louisville, an attempted political assassination, and Black Lives Matter footed the bill to get him out on bail because, you know, justice or whatever. And of course they're doubling down as the Post-Millennial reports. Black Lives Matter Louisville stands by support of attempted murder suspect and fellow activist. The guy we bailed out needed support, as the candidate said. We should do away with jail altogether and fund the necessary preventative measures folks beg the Louisville mayor budget every year for. I mean, how completely disgusting. Do away with jail and just allow a political terrorist who brazenly, point blank, shot at a Louisville mayoral candidate. I might have called him the mayor earlier. He's actually a mayoral candidate. What Black Lives Matter is actually arguing here and what they're putting money towards is putting a dangerous individual like that back on the streets and trying to do away with jail altogether. I mean, this stuff is psychotic. Not only is it psychotic, but it's corrupt and plagued in scandal. These types of articles keep popping up all over the place, as well as articles like this: Clinton Associates take on leadership roles in global BLM organization, dark, traceless money, closed books, corruption, the Clintons, freeing criminals on the streets, scandal upon scandal upon scandal, ridiculous, indefensible views. It's funny because Justin Trudeau said the truckers had unacceptable views and then in the same breath defended Black Lives Matter. But I don't know about you guys. I think the truckers fighting for freedom is totally acceptable. I think allowing criminals, attempted murderers, and even murderers onto the street and doing away with jails altogether, that to me, literally, actually sounds like unacceptable views. Black Lives Matter is done, as their corporate allies seem to be kicking them to the curb. And of course, at this point, we know the Democrats don't want anything to do with them either, at least the establishment Democrats. That's what I got for you guys though. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share it as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. I'm gonna get back to work though. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.